Noise is a big deal, right? It can be invasive, it can really jar us mentally, it can even physically damage your body if it's too loud. That's why suppressors and silencers are such a good idea. Not only do they reduce sound, but they also help control recoil and sometimes even make the gun run more efficiently. It's a great thing that these are available to help gun owners with these aforementioned issues, right? That must be why someone's trying to ban them. We're going to break it down after this. TA Targets offers some of the most innovative and robust target systems money can buy. Featuring AR-550 steel and forward-thinking build quality, these targets are built to last. Whether you're blasting every day or plinking on the weekends, TA Targets has something for everyone. To get 10% off your entire order, head over to tatargets.com and use our code TGC10. Welcome back to the Gun Collective. My name is Jon Patton, and you are watching the fight for gun rights. If you think suppressors are cool in any way, go ahead and get subscribed because we are going to cover as much upcoming legislative action as we can. Now, let's get into the meat of things today. Long story short, Senator Bob Menendez and Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, both out of New Jersey, have reintroduced a bill called the HERE Act. HERE stands for Help Empower Americans to Respond, which is interesting because based on the text, there is no empowerment for anyone except the federal government. Anyway, the basic premise of the bill is fairly simple. They want to ban and confiscate your legally owned suppressors. The bill itself, which is linked in the description under its definitions section, plans to strike the term firearm muffler or firearm silencer from the definition of a firearm under 18 USC 921, the Crimes Code. It's an interesting move to remove the term from the regulations because if it's not defined under firearm, like what is it defined as, right? I don't know. Let's keep rolling through it. The next section of the bill, which would be known as 922V, if it were to pass, outlines how they would make it illegal to import, sell, manufacture, transfer, or possess a firearm silencer or muffler. It also outlines how they shall not apply to any government agency, law enforcement officer, or campus law enforcement officer. It's interesting that they're using shall not, right? The ban also shall not apply to use for protecting nuclear power plants, use in testing or experimental stuff authorized by the Attorney General, and probably any other government nonsense. The next part goes on to say they want to institute a buyback program for silencers that are already possessed by previously law-abiding citizens. There's no outline, though, on what would be paid for your legally acquired item or the cost of the tax stamp that you already fronted. Just that you would have to sell it back to the government. Back to the government. It's interesting that you can buy back something that you never owned, right? So let's recap. This bill would make possession of a silencer illegal, and you'd be forced to give it up in exchange for an undetermined amount of money. I find it super interesting that this sort of bill even exists. Silencer owners already jump through a series of hoops to acquire them, including waiting on unreasonably long wait times from ATF and paying a $200 tax. But screw your time and money because we think these are scary. Like, it's a good thing. These are great. It's not Hollywood, for the love of God. Not only that, but there's no justification for this ban. The typical approach would be the amount of crime an item was used in and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's how they try to come at it for guns. But the amount of silencers used in crimes is even smaller than rifles, which is already extremely uncommon. On top of that, New Jersey, which is where these politicians are from, already bans the private ownership of hearing protection devices such as these. It seems like they're trying to further infect the rest of the country with their ludicrous overreach. The bill is also co-sponsored by the usual cast of corrupt politicians. Dianne Feinstein, aka Skeletor, Richard Blumenthal, Cory Booker, Ed Markey, and Alex Padilla, some of whom you might recognize from their appearances during the Supreme Court confirmation hearings, as well as the Trump-Russia debacle that lasted way too long. I feel like this entire thing is not even intended to be passed, but rather used as a look what I did for gullible constituents. Look, guys, seriously, I'm not a wasted vote. I'm doing something by introducing legislation that is heavily biased and partisan and unlikely to pass, right? It's kind of wild how much of our government spending goes towards BS like that. We are paying people to create legislation that is just not going to pass and is completely useless. I'm curious though, do you live in an area where silencers are legal? I know a lot of you may or may not. If so, do you own one? Why or why not? That'll be interesting. With 42 states currently allowing them, I'm really curious to see the split on this. Also, let me know down in the comments what you think about this bill. Because I think I know what you think, but I want to hear it. Now, after you click the like button on this video, be sure to hit the secret affiliate link down in the description. That would be awesome because it helps support the channel. And of course, don't forget to get subscribed for more gun news every single week. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon.